Hello guys, Jai Shri Ram. Today I'm making this video with a very heavy heart. Byju's was not just any other company. It was the dream of many Indians. All of us thought that the education sector of India should be like Byju's. We should not learn by rote. We should learn using interactive videos, using real world examples. Even if you see the National Education Policy 2020, you will see that most of it was derived or at least inspired from Byju's. We looked at it as the success of the edtech sector of India and cut forward to today. This company is in shambles. And so I'm making this video with a very, very heavy heart. What did we think about this company and what did it turn out to be? I'll also tell you about so many evil practices that this company followed, and that's the reason why the entire trust on this company was lost. And now this company became a textbook definition of what corporate greed is, what crony capitalism is, what evil marketing is. So this video is about how Byju's fell from Arsh to Farsh, how this company floored itself within the last 2 years, that means from 2022 to 2024. Let's get started. First of all, we will see why is this in the news? What are the basic reasons why people are talking about this company? First thing is, obviously it is one of the 108 unicorns of India. Everyone looked at it with an aspirational value, right? Unicorns are always aspirational. The new companies, the budding companies whose valuation has become 1 billion US dollars, those are called as unicorns. So unicorns always have an aspirational value. This was one of those 108 unicorns that India has. It is a giant in India's edtech market. EdTech market itself, we have a lot of sentiments attached to it. It's about education of our children. Definitely a lot of sentimental values attached to it. And this was a giant in the edtech industry. In the last 2 years, its valuation fell from 22 billion US dollars to just 0.2 billion dollars within last 2 years, from 2022 to 2024. Byju's even delayed the salary of its employees. Then there was a stunt which was played. Byju Ravindram, the founder of the company, said, "Oh, I'm pledging my houses. How can my employees not get salary?" He knew it all the time, what practices he was doing. He knew it when he diluted his share in the company. He knew everything about this company. In fact, he is the guy who brought the company to this level. And then he says that, "Oh, how can my employees go hungry? I will pay their salary. I'll put my home, I'll pledge my home, I'll put it on mortgage, and I'll raise money for the salary of the employees." No one bought this argument. No one liked him for it. Even today, he is one of the most hated people in India today. Why is that so? Let's see in this video. Byju's didn't pay the employees PF money as well. What is PF money? Provident fund. Means if you are working in a company and if you say that, every month 1000 rupees of my salary should be deducted and it should go into my provident fund. So the company will deduct 1000 rupees from your salary and it will give it to the government. Government will keep it in your PF fund. Now it is compulsory for all the companies that if the employee is depositing X amount of money every month in PF, you should also match that amount and you should also pay the X amount of rupee from your end, that amount, into the PF of that employee. So if I said 1000 rupees per month should be paid in my PF account every month, then the company will also be paying 1000 rupees from their pocket. Byju's didn't do that as well. Every company does it. Throughout India, every single company does it. But Byju's did not do it. Byju's even delayed the full and final settlement of the employee. What is full and final settlement? See, when you leave the company, then the company says that, see, the last month's salary you won't get. Because maybe your last working day was 20th of the month. So those 20 days salary you won't get at the moment. Let us process it. Give us 1 month. After 1 month, you will get a full and final settlement. What is full and final settlement? One is whatever days of the last month you worked, that salary you will get only for those 20 days. Secondly, They will calculate how many leaves are pending. You did not take those leaves, so those leaves will get encashed. Okay, and some more salary will be given to you. Then they will say that, oh, you did not deposit your laptop bag, so they will deduct the laptop bag money. That kind of expenses also, if you did some harm to the company, then that harm, whatever was the encashment of that harm, that will be deducted from your salary. And then final, whatever is your end month salary, that is called as a full and final settlement. So even that was not given to the employees for a very very long time. They delayed it. Now, why is full and final settlement important? See, suppose I have taken a home loan. I left the company on 20th. Now my EMI will be on the 1st of the next month. I do not get the salary for that month itself. Where am I going to pay that EMI from? I'll borrow the money from my brother, I'll borrow it from somewhere, right? Now, I will expect that full and final settlement to happen within a month, right? So that I can repay my brother or my relative from whom I have taken that money, right? Now, suppose that that full and final settlement doesn't happen for the 6 months, for the next 6 months. What am I going to do? How am I going to face my relatives, my brother, my family members? It won't look nice. The family won't do anything, but it won't look nice. They won't even say anything. They'll say, okay, it's absolutely okay. But it won't look nice. So, full and final settlement is a little touchy topic. Companies should not delay full and final settlement at least. They delayed that as well. Then even the enforcement directorate, that means ED, they also sent a notice about FEMA violations. FEMA is Foreign Exchange Management Act. So overall, if you see, I haven't explained this in much of a detail, but in short, I'll tell you the entire finances of this company were in shambles. Even their auditor resigned. They said, oh, we are not auditing you because your finances have so many gafla gotalas. We cannot sign you off. So the finance of this company was really shady. There were a lot of ill practices that this company did financially. Byju's finally removed their CEO, that is Byju Ravindran, in February. That means 2 months ago. So there was an extraordinary general meeting. EGM means extraordinary general meeting, which was conducted in February. The meeting was hosted and conducted by the investors in the company. CEO was not present, and his wife was also working at a very key post in the company. She was also not present. And in this meeting, it was decided that Byju and his wife both have to be sacked, they have to be fired, they have to be kicked out of the company. Metaphorically. Okay. Now, what is the reaction about Byju's failure in the market? So I'll give you two reactions. One is from Hansal Mehta. Hansal Mehta is that guy who brought us the Scam web series. So in the first season, you saw Harshad Mehta scam. In the second season, you saw Telgi scam. Now this guy says, means he has tweeted that in the fourth season of this web series, I am going to showcase the scam which Byju did. So he's directly comparing Byju scam with Harshad Mehta scam and Telgi scam. So this should give you the gravity of the situation, that how big is this scam, and besides how hard hitting it is or how sensitive it is, because they did not fool anyone else. They fooled students, they fooled the parents of those students, those innocent people whom no one will like to fool. But this company was bad enough to fool even students, their parents. They showed dreams that your child will excel, and then they force the parents into taking courses. They force them to take loans. Sometimes the parents didn't even know that a loan was sanctioned in their name. When the parents wanted to cancel the subscription, they didn't even allow that subscription to get cancelled. This is how much this company has harassed common people, not just common people, students and their parents. And that's why it's a very sensitive topic. That's why Mr. Hansal Mehta says that the next season of scam series, I am going to talk about Byju scam. It is that significant. This is the first reaction. The second reaction, I'll tell you, it comes from Mr. Pradeep Saha. So Pradeep Saha is basically that person who has been talking against Byju for many years now. He warned the Indians that this company is not doing good. You feel that Ritik Roshan is doing the publicity of this company, Shah Rukh Khan is doing, Messi is doing, so that means this company is no, it is not great. The way it is expanding in such a small amount of time, I don't think this company is going to survive. This guy was skeptical about that company for so long, and we never believed in this guy. And that's why I'll give the link to his book, The Learning Trap, in the video description. Go and watch this book. I mean, read this book. This guy deserves a lot of appreciation, and many of you, I stand guarantee, you don't even know his name. This guy knew about the Byju scam right from the beginning. He has been warning the country about it. No one paid attention. So at least I'm paying attention towards this guy. I'm giving the link to his book in the video description. Okay. Now let us start with the inception. Where did Byju start? So whenever scamsters come into market, they are not always scamsters. Many a times they start with noble intentions, but then the market dynamics forces them to become evil, and when they become evil, they do many bad things. So let us see the inception of Byju's. Byju's was started by Mr. Byju Ravindran. He was a common man. He was born in a family of school teachers. He was born in Kerala in 1980. He completed his engineering. He was an engineer in 2000. He worked as a service engineer in a shipping firm from 2001 to 2003. So I've purposely mentioned that he was a service engineer. So see, a PR person would normally tell you, oh, he's an engineer guy. Read the whole thing. He was a service engineer working in what? A shipping firm. Read it carefully. Okay. See, I'm not letting down this guy. I'm saying if you're praising the guy, then praise him only for what he is. Don't give extra credit to anyone. Don't consider anyone to be an avatar. You will always regret it. And that's why I've always said, teachers, doctors, lawyers, normally people say that these are Bhagwan ka roop. You should never hide anything from them. No, these are as human as me or you are. Everyone in the world should be treated humanly. Don't treat them badly also, don't treat them extra good also. So he was an engineer, he was a service engineer working in a shipping firm. Read the whole story. In 2003, he returned to his home from on a vacation, and he had a couple of friends. They were giving cat. So you must realize that he also did engineering just 3 years ago. So he must be having friends in the locality, or maybe the neighbors, who were a little younger than him. Now they must be doing MBA. So the entrance exam for MBA is called as CAT. So once you give the CAT, after that, the business schools invite you for the interview. And then if you pass that interview also, then those business schools will give you admission. So for MBA, even to take admission in the course, you have to go through an entrance exam and then the interview of that IIM. Okay, Indian Institute of Management, that is IIM. Now 12 of his friends were giving this CAT exam. So he was the son of school teachers. He must be good at studies as well. So they all must have come to him. They must have told him that, you can teach us, bhaiya. You teach us something. We will learn from you. He taught them. Out of 12 people, 4 of them got selected. 4 of them passed this entrance exam. This is a huge percentage. If 33% of your class is passing such a difficult exam like CAT, then definitely it's a very good percentage. His friends asked Byju also to take the CAT exam. So in the same year, that means 2003 itself, along with these 12 students, he also gave the exam. He also passed. But his passing was not ordinary. He was a topper. He gained 100 percentile. So in MBA entrance, normally it is called as percentile. They don't say percent. Percentile means out of all the people who scored the maximum amount of marks, that is 100 percentile. Okay, and then who scored little lesser, that will be a little lesser, maybe 99.99 percentile. Then who scored a little lesser than that, this is how the percentile is calculated. So he scored the maximum out of everyone, so he was a topper and his percentile was 100 percentile. IIMs called him for the interviews. Of course, business schools will call this kind of toppers. They will themselves call you. Don't even have to approach the business school. They themselves will call you because you are there in the media at that time. So IIMs gave him the interview calls. He appeared for the interview. He passed those interview also, but still, very strangely, he decided to keep working as a service engineer in that shipping company. God knows why. Probably, I mean, was it that he did not have money at that time? Yeah, that could also be the case. Unfortunately, in India, the reservation system has broken the backbone of all the meritorious students who come under general category. Unfortunately for them, so that could be a reason. Very much, I have been through the same trouble, so I know. So that could be a trouble. It is really difficult in India to study if you come under general category. So that could be the reason. But yeah, I'm just explaining that this guy did not go and join those IIMs. Those were the top IIMs of the country. He did not join them. He kept on working as a service engineer. Could be his financial condition. I don't know. I haven't investigated so much. Byju's gave CAT exam again in 2005. After 3 years, after 2 years, he gave the exam again. Once again, this guy shined in that exam. He scored 100 percentile once again. And then his reputation grew as a great teacher. If he can qualify the exam twice with 100 percentile, then he is worthy enough to teach you. You will also pass. Okay. So, what is a session? Session means if I take a lecture for 4 hours, then this is one session. Tomorrow, if I call you again for 4 hours, that will be second session. I won't call you tomorrow directly. I'll call you once in a week mostly if I'm taking a day long session. Okay. So by the sixth session, the number of attendees were 1,000. 1,000 people attended his workshop, you can say, or his class for CAT exam. So this is how famous he became right at the beginning. In 2006, that means the next year, Byju established its own classes. So until now, it was pretty much informal. Now he formally established Byju's classes, and it was only meant for CAT preparations. Okay, he was not touching anything in the school going students or graduation school, nothing like that. Only for CAT preparations, this classes was there. Okay, so this is how Byju's came into existence. The next slide is about the freemium model and video lectures of Byju's. What is freemium model? Now, Mr. Byju had a very novel way of doing business. He said that I will take the first session for free. First day for 4 hours I'll teach non-stop without any fees from you, free of cost. But from the next session onwards, I'll be charging you 750 rupees per session. If you like the first session, you continue for the next session as well. This is a very fair way of doing business. I don't mind it. So this is what was done. Normally, it was observed that 90% of the students who attended his free course also went for his premium course. That means his charged sessions, 750 rupees per session. They gave attendance. Means you can say 90%. If 100 people attended the free course, then 90 of them repeated for the paid course as well. So his customer turnout, you can say, is 90%. It's a very good ratio. From the next year, that means from 2007 to 2009, Byju started targeting undergraduate students also. So until now, he was only targeting CAT preparation. This was for graduate students. Now, undergraduate students were also targeted. That means those students who are in 12th, 11th, 10th, something like that. And he expanded his business in 9 cities, all in South India, by the way. Pune was in India. Yeah. In 2009, he introduced video lectures and even launched UPSC courses. So in this 2009 year, this was done. 2 years later, he established Think and Learn as the parent company of Byju's. Okay. In 2012, Mr. Byju's got the very first investor. Okay. And in the same year, why did he get the investor? Because he had started a novel thing, and that was video education. He started converting his lectures into videos, and that is how he wanted to, he would just shoot the video once and then show that video in all the offline classes in these 9 cities, and this is how he did video education for the very first time. In India, by 2012, video education was an absolutely new thing, but he showed the courage of going in video education. And that is why his first investor also came to him in 2012 only. They started an offline center in Bangalore, and this is where they tested this video education thing. So he did not deliver the lecture himself. He said, okay, I won't be present at all the all the centers, all the offline centers. I'll only shoot once and show that video and keep a tutor over there, so that if people have doubt, they'll ask the doubts and the tutor will clarify that doubt. Okay, this was a video education model. Their batch size grew up to 2,500 students. So this was about Byju's video education and Byju's freemium model. Now we are talking about Byju's learning app. So until now they did not come to the mobile app. Why did they come to mobile app? Let us get. Byju's, why did it first come to video? I'll tell you, because every student has its own pace of learning. Okay, so if I shoot a video, I give the video to the student will watch the video whenever the student is free. So some students might cover all the videos within a week. Some students might say that I need 3 months to go through all the videos properly. I'll make my own notes. Okay, so the pace of learning is different for different students. That's why video education is important. Second thing is, the style of learning is different for different people. Some people prefer textual learning. Some people like to read it, then they'll write it in the notebook. While writing, they will say it loud so that they can also hear it. So they are using as many senses as possible. So this helps them memorize that particular topic or even understand it better. Some people understand it better in the text. Some people understand it better in a video. Like personally for me, I love to understand a topic using a video. I don't read whatever blogs are written. I normally see a video on it, right? Then some people like to know about stories. So unless you can relate to it, they are not able to remember it. Okay, so they normally try to learn it by real world examples. Okay, so that is story. And there are some memorizing stories also, in which normally a story will be cooked out of nowhere, and they will try to insert keywords in that story so that you remember a formula or you remember a particular historical happening. This is a memory technique as well. So they will teach as per the story. Then practical sessions. So some people like to learn through experience. Unless you give them a practical session, they don't understand, or they don't gather enough interest in that topic. So different people learn by different techniques. What Byju's did is it made videos in such a way that it covered all these things together. So in the video, they won't just talk about a topic. They will take real world examples. They will try to show a story. If there is a memory story, they'll show it in the video. This kind of a thing. Practical experiences were shown. Okay, and they gave this, but these videos were still there in that offline class, right? The schedule, the learning schedule, the pace of learning was decided by the offline class. And this is what Byju's did not want. So Byju's mixed all these approaches and created videos. The students could watch the videos at their own pace. Byju started giving those videos in DVDs, in CDs, that kind of a way. So if you remember, if you're into coding world, then you must be knowing about, I think, Shiv Prasad. He is the guy who is the founder of QuestPond. And he also used to teach .NET on YouTube. And then he had a lot of his videos. So he compiled them all into one DVD. And he used to take some, I think, 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees, something like that. And he used to deliver that DVD to you at your doorstep. So this is what Byju's also started doing. Okay, but still this is only video education. This is not going digital. Byju's also gave real world examples instead of learn by rote technique. In 2012, Ranjan Pai approached Byju with an investment of 50,000 crore Indian rupees. At that time, 50,000 crore was also a huge investment, because educational sector in India is not given any importance at all. No one likes to invest in the education system. I don't know why. And that's the reason why when 50,000 crore rupees investment came to Mr. Byju, he liked it. He picked that investment. But there was a condition for taking that investment. Ranjan Pai wanted Byju to go digital. What is going digital? See, circulating your videos using DVD is not being digital. Digital means you will have a website where people will enroll for your courses. Second thing, if they enroll and there is a subscription model, so for let us say 6 months there is a subscription and so courses will be taught, then all your videos will sit in the cloud. They will be accessible through that website, but everyone won't have access to those videos. Only those students will have access who have enrolled, who have paid the fees, and they will also have access only to those videos which are related to the relevant course. And even those videos they will be able to see only for 6 months or whatever duration for which they have subscribed. That is called as going digital. This is what even Netflix did. Netflix also, when it started, it was a video parlor. So they used to give those video cassettes. Okay, then they gave DVDs. Okay, but those DVDs also were parceled to their customers through post. Okay, so this is not going digital. It was not digital at that time. Digital means how Netflix is today. You subscribe to Netflix, you will start seeing all the videos in its library. You will be able to see it, but the subscription will last only for 1 month. Next month, once again, you will have to pay 199 rupees for the subscription. This is called a subscription model. This is called as going digital. So Mr. Ranjan Pai wanted this kind of an approach. He did not mention about the mobile app. He mostly mentioned that go digital, you should be like a subscription model would work like, right? So this is what Ranjan Pai said. But 3 years from then, Byju's learning app, the mobile app, was launched. Okay. Now, how was this mobile app important? This was important because, see, when you gave DVD to the people, it was compulsory that that person should be having a PC. That PC should be having a DVD reader at least, and then that person will be able to use your DVD. But if it is a mobile app and if it is freely downloadable, freely installable, if it does not have purchases, then anyone can download it, anyone can use it. You can give first month as free, so use the app for free for 1 month. That is also possible. Of course, you will restrict the videos from getting copied. You won't be able to record the screen while the video is playing. That you will do, but you will give the access to that platform for 1 month. It will be free, but even while giving that subscription, you will be asking for a lot of information from that person. So you are increasing your knowledge about potential customers. You have a data of what potential customers could be, and then your marketing team will target those people. That's, you have used this app for so many months, for 1 month, and we think that this subject is a little weak, so why don't you take so and so course which will help you in this subject. Okay, so it was good for Byju's to go digital. So that happened in 2015. Investors showed interest. Now, I did not mention all the investors, but there were a lot of investors. Many of them were foreign investors also. All these investors are called as venture capitalists. Venture capitalists means what? Who are capitalists? Capitalist means someone who invests into your idea, who puts money in your idea. Okay, and then if your idea becomes successful, then whatever revenue comes, a lot of that revenue goes to the investor. Okay, why? Because investor has invested money, so that money has to be returned to the investor. This is what a capitalist is, or an investor is. And venture capitalist means it invests into new ventures. Okay, new companies, the new startups, it invests into that, because whenever a startup comes into existence, the startup has only idea. They create a proof of concept, and then they approach all those investors, and some investor likes that idea, and then they put money in that startup. To know more about this, go and see the Pictures series. Pictures is a series on Z5. Pictures 1 and Pictures 2. Go through that. You will come to know about the startup culture and what is venture capitalism, who are those investors, and all. So a lot of investors showed interest into Byju's, and then sky was the limits. Byju's was expanding like anything. By 2018, Byju's became the first edtech unicorn of India. Even it started earning revenue also. So people assumed that what is the value of this company? The valuation of the company was greater than 1 billion US dollars. So people assumed that this company is worth 1 billion US dollars. See, this valuation is always assumption. Okay, this is what your auditor will say, this is what some other third party auditing firms will say. This is just a imagination of people that I think that Ms. Baiju's company is worth so and so billion dollars. That is what I think. Okay, so that is the valuation of the company. It is not related to how much revenue you earn or how much investment you have gathered from venture capitalists. Nothing. It is all about how much people have faith into your company, and what do people think about your company. Okay, so at that time the reputation of Byju's was at the top, or it was almost at the top. Its top faith was around 2022. Till 2022, people literally had a lot of faith in this company, and this company was at the top of the edtech sector of India. From 2020 to 2022, COVID lockdown also helped Byju. So from 2020, see, COVID-19, it came in the year 2019, but in India, the cases started cropping up towards the end of 19 and beginning of 2020. So our first lockdown was around April of 2020. So that's why I'm saying that from 2020 to 2022, that is the effective lockdown period, or maybe the COVID period of India. And during that period, this Byju's grew like anything. Okay. COVID-19 lockdown. During COVID-19 period, schools and offline coaching centers were closed, so edtech companies like Byju spread like wildfire. Even the National Education Policy, that is NEP 2020, suggested the integration of technology with education. It spoke about immersive learning through digital tools and online platforms. So if you read this entire policy, you will think like the policy is highly inspired from edtech companies like Byju's. So this Byju's was not just an inspiration for common man, but it was also apparently an inspiration to the government of India. They thought that, this is how the education sector of India should be like. Then between April 2020 to May 2022, that means during the COVID period, the edtech sector of India received 6.65 billion US dollars investment. Okay, from venture capitalists, of course. So all these edtech companies were all startups only. Na? So they received investment of 6.65 billion US dollars only during these 2 years. That means only during COVID duration. Why? Because all the offline coaching centers were closed, schools were closed, so everyone had to go to the edtech companies. About half of this investment, that means 3.3 billion US dollars, was received by a single company. And guess which company? It was Byju's. Byju's got 50% of the entire capital that venture capitalists put in, all the investment you can say, which was received in the edtech sector during the COVID duration. 50% of it went to a single company, and that is Byju. In 2022, Byju's valuation reached 22 billion US dollars. Now let's talk about the downfall of this company. Byju's received a lot of investment from venture capitalists, right? 22 billion was its valuation. So it was expected that you should grow accordingly, right? If I'm giving so much of investment in this company, I would expect that the company grows, right? If you water a plant, then you would expect the plant to grow, right? But if the investment is too much, then you have to grow too much, right? But there's only a limited capacity up to which you can grow organically, right? It was a great idea, of course. COVID also, the situation was such that the company could grow, but that growth could not be achieved organically, because a lot of investment was received, and so a lot of growth was expected. So much growth could not be achieved organically. Organically means naturally, without doing anything. Hence, Byju's took some unethical marketing techniques like forcing the sales staff to bring sales numbers at any cost. Hence, the sales staff had to cheat on the customers, that is, students and their parents. Okay, so first of all, they put a lot of pressure on the sales staff. They said that, see, we have to increase the business, we have to increase our revenue. How will the revenue increase? What is the revenue model? So you sell the courses, that will bring us the revenue. So then the sales people were forced so much that you have to bring at least 2 lakh rupees sale within a month. What will a salesperson do? Salesperson will go crazily after all the students, all the parents. They'll keep bugging on the phone. They'll keep, sometimes they might even fool the parents. They might say that, oh, this course is extremely important, otherwise your neighbor is going to go ahead of you. You are going to be left behind in the world. Oh, you really need it, although the student might not need the course at all, but still you want revenue out at any cost. So this is what the salespeople did. Some salespeople even went to the extent of asking the parents to take loans. Then sometimes parents didn't even know that a loan was sanctioned on their name. This salespeople, they themselves, took their signature, their Aadhaar card, this, that, they sanctioned the loan on their behalf, and the parents didn't even know that they have loan on top of their head. These are the malpractices that Byju's followed. Eventually, Byju's lost all the parents' trust, because these things don't stay hidden for very long. Over the time, people started talking about this company. People started seeing that, see, मेरा फूफा जी का लड़का भी पढ़ता था, उसका तो कुछ नहीं हुआ, तो फेल हो गया. अरे वो मेरे चाची की भतीजी की ऐसी है, वो पढ़ रही थी, वो उसका भी कुछ नहीं हो. This is what people started talking about. People started sharing this thing that, Byju's, it's okay, it's a good thing, but it's not so good that you're going to miss out something if you don't take the subscription. It is just a good to have thing, but it's not a must to have thing. So then people started canceling their courses, and Byju's didn't even allow that cancellation to happen. So that gathered a lot of negative publicity, and it stuck to Byju's. Even till today, that negative publicity is stuck to Byju's. After COVID period, schools and offline classes reopened. So all that rocket booster that this company had, COVID and lockdown, that rocket booster fell off. Now you are on your own. Now you try to survive the real world. There is complete competition coming from the schools as well as from the offline coaching centers. There is full competition now. And now you try to have this model. Now you try to have a video only kind of a model. You don't have teachers. You did not invest into offline education. You started with offline education, but then you completely moved over to digitization, right? Now, good luck to you. Now let us see whether students feel more comfortable in a face-to-face class or in a digital class. Even investors also started investing into more stable things like government bonds. Why will an investor become a venture capitalist and invest into ventures? That means invest into shares, invest into these startups. They will try to keep their investments as stable as possible, as less risk prone as possible, right? So obviously those venture capitalists became normal capitalists, and they invested into normal things like, okay, bonds, shares, mutual funds, that kind of thing. Now the last 3 slides of this video are about the failures, the reasons of failures for Byju's. These 3 slides are extremely important because I want all the edtech companies to avoid these 3 things, because these 3 things actually brought Byju's from Arsh to Farsh. Arsh means Akash and Farsh means floor. So this company literally got floored within 2 years. What were the reasons? I'll discuss in the next 3 slides. Byju's marketing was based on fear and not on goodwill. So how did Byju's market? I'll tell you. In doorstep sales, Byju's marketing model was based on FOMO, that is fear of missing out. I'll show you the whole thing. This is how it is. Now I'll tell you the story. You can read also, otherwise I'll tell you. See, I told you that the first month subscription of that mobile app was free, right? During this first month, your child used to go through all the lessons. It used to see which all, it used to appear for the tests and everything. So Byju's got the information of this kid, and Byju's knew that this kid is more interested in history, less interested in economics, less interested in, let us say, science, less interested in mathematics. Or in mathematics, he is interested, but he's less interested in trigonometry. Oh, he's very weak in Euclidean geometry. So it got all this information from that 1 month's usage of that kid. And that kid would also explore all the areas, right? You have only 1 month free, so you'll explore all the areas. कि देखो तो यार maths अच्छा पढ़ाते हैं या नहीं. चलो यार, let us see whether history is taught nicely or not. Or let us see whether English is taught nicely or not. The kid will see all the subjects. Kid will try his hand on all the on as many exercises as possible, and that the kid might fail in a few exercises and do really well in a few others. So Byju's gets the data about this kid. Byju's profiled such kids, and those kids were not just kids; they were the potential customers of Byju's. So customer is always profiled. Profile means to know about the customer. What are the likes, dislikes? What are the interests? What is the intellect? What are the qualities, good, bad, any kind of a qualities about your customer? That is called as customer profiling. So that customer profiling was done, and then doorstep salespeople used to go after that 1 month subscription was over, the free one was over. Now they wanted you to pay to continue using that service, right? So the doorstep people, doorstep sales people would go, and they would tell the parents, see, he's not doing good with mathematics. Oh, he's so good, but he's really weak at trigonometry. And trigonometry is not something that should be taught with text. It should be taught with interactive videos, just like the ones that we have. Okay, so if your kid was bad, they would they would instill this fear into your heart that uh, oh, he's not really doing good in studies. Do you know his score was just 2 out of 100? Oh, I'll take an interview right away if you want. I'll ask you a few questions. Oh, out of 10 questions, he could only answer one question, and even that was partially correct. So the parents were, in a way, petrified or terrorized in a way by Baiju, that your kid is not intelligent enough. Now some kids could be average. So for average kids, they would say, oh, the kid is good, actually, he or she is good, but if they get Baiju's support, then they will excel even more. He's good, he's doing well, but he just needs a little support, and with a little support you will see how far this kid goes. Oh, by the way, the neighbors, Mr. Verma, Mr. Sharma, Mr. Gupta, their children have taken our subscription. Now you don't want that Sharma, Gupta, Verma to their children to excel ahead of your children. And he is such a gem. He has all the knowledge, he has all the intellect, he has a good IQ. You just need to pay some attention towards the classes he's doing. Oh, these other neighbors, they have subscribed to us. Do you want them to go ahead of you? So average students were mentored in this way. And those who were really intelligent, who really did not need any course at all, even they would be told that everyone else is taking this course. Small little 1 mark leads to so much of difference. There was one interview, and in which the two candidates were sitting there. Head and Shoulders also gave such an ad, by the way, that two interview candidates were absolutely neck to neck, and the interviewer was not able to decide which one to select. And then one of those candidates scratched the hair, scratched the head, and then that dandruff fell down, and immediately the interviewer said, "Oh, you are rejected," and the other guy is selected. So this was what? This is just fear mongering. That maybe a shampoo will save you an interview. Oh, you will be left behind by just this much. Oh, PT Usha lost that running race by 1 second. Yeah, these are just examples that are given. Or they will give real world examples like, oh, see, in the CAT exam or in so and so exam, this guy also got 98%, this guy got 91.1%, and so the other was selected and the first one was not selected. So the intelligent students were brainwashed or maybe lured into taking these courses in such a way. So they had one pill for every kind of a student. This is how aggressively they did the doorstep salesmanship. Now, when they did this salesmanship, many parents said that, oh, your courses are too costly. It's like 1 lakh rupees. We won't afford it. So they'll say, okay, there's no need to pay 1 lakh rupees in one go. Why will you not, why don't you pay it in 12 installments? Every month you pay some amount. Is that okay for you? Pay, let us say, 12,000 rupees every month. Will that work for you, sir? This is how they will convince. Now, they did not tell that this fractional payment is actually EMI for a home, for a education loan. They did not mention the loan word only. They said that, see, Byju's will allow you to make 12 part payments. Do that. In the background, Byju's took an education loan in the name of the parent, and the parent didn't even know about it. Now you might ask that, see, the parent won't pay the interest, right? Interest on the education loan. Parent only knows that the 1 lakh rupees has to be paid in so many installments. So only 1 lakh rupees will be the total sum that the parent will pay. Where will the interest come from? Initially, Byju's paid that interest also. It was such a gaflebaj company, It never did anything fairly. It never did anything straightforwardly. It had so many cards up its sleeve. It was not fair anywhere. This Byju had tie-ups with so many banks, and very covertly, Byju's salesperson would take signature, Aadhaar card of the parent, and based on that, Byju's would take a loan from the tied-up bank. It was an education loan in the name of the parent, and the parent didn't know anything about the loan because the interest was being paid by the Byju's, and so parents could not even find it out. Okay. Main problem arose when the parent defaulted on their monthly installment. When the parents defaulted, at that time they got the notice from the bank. They got the first calls, then the notice. So when the bank called, that is when the parents came to know that, oh my God, there's an education loan in my name, and I didn't even know that. Who took that loan? Byju's did that. This is how bad Byju's was. This is how covertly, or you can say cunningly, uh, this company tried to expand itself, tried to increase its revenue. It was extremely unethical, very, very cunning, clandestine way of working. And that's why this is one of the most hated companies nowadays. That is why Mr. Byju Ravindran, he is not liked nowadays. He is hated. One of the most hated figures in India today is Mr. Byju Ravindran. And the reason is this. Once the course was pitched, the parents were harassed by repeated phone calls until now. Now, what happened is, suppose that doorstep salesperson came to you, he told you the whole thing, you still did not buy the course. You said, okay, thank you very much, but I'm not interested at the moment. Even if you said that, then also you would keep on receiving their phone calls from different numbers. They'll keep calling. You block one number, they'll call from another number. And this happens. This is telemarketing spam, you can say. Everyone does that. Big banks also do this. Many of you must be getting continuous daily calls from ICICI, from HDFC, especially Indian banks. They will spam you like anything. They never respect the customer. And still we have a saying that, customer bhagwan hota hai, grahak bhagwan hota hai. But Indians, particularly Indian companies, will only spam you so much. This was also one such company. It would spam you so much on the phone that one day you'll say, okay, man, give me one course and, stop calling me every day. Now, some parents might take the course. They might say that, okay, it's a 1 lakh rupee course. I'll pay in installments. Okay. After 1 or 2 months, the parents realized that the course was not all that good. The ads were great. The ads which Hrithik Roshan did, Shah Rukh Khan did, Messi did. Oh, those ads are great. But in reality, the course material is not all that well written. It is not well researched. Even the exercises are very basic. It is not adding any value to my child's education. So then the parents started thinking, they know, okay, for 2 months I paid the monthly installment now. Now cancel the course for me and return the rest of the money and stop this monthly payment. Okay, stop that. I don't want to continue with Byju's, and I'm investing that money somewhere else, maybe in an offline course, or I'll teach the baby at home. Okay, I don't want you. That is called as a cancellation request. So there was one case, it also came in, I think, Hindustan Time or some other newspaper, that the parent went dozens of times to Byju's office, but Byju's did not cancel the course, and those installments had to be kept on. He kept on giving those he had to keep on giving those installments, because those bank people were sitting on his head that, you have to pay the installment. Oh, so and so thing is on mortgage, we will take it otherwise. So the parent was really, forced to continue in that course, although they did not want to continue in that particular course. And remember this thing, see, these companies, while taking money from you, they will call you every day. Okay, if you're a potential customer, they'll call you every day. But if you're their customer now, after that, they don't listen to you. Forget about calling. Even if you call them, they won't pick up the call, or they will always give you the same routine answers, and you will only feel that, okay, yaar, I'm feeling tired now, how many times do I need to call these people? This is what really happens. That customer bhagwan hai wala thing is only said, it is not really followed in real life. And this guy is not even calling, this guy is going to the office, even dozens of times to the office, and yet he was not listened to, his course was not cancelled. Some parents even tricked into taking loans for buying these courses. I already told you about this. So the first reason for the downfall of Byju's is that Byju's marketing was based on fear, was based on cheating, and it was not based on goodwill. See, if a company does something good for you and then they charge money, you will give it happily. Sometimes you might even tip the person. But if they force you that, oh yaar, itna to dena hi padega, then you feel cheated, you feel like, okay, you feel trapped. Dena hi padega means what? See, many a times you go to hotels, and that person would say, "Arey, itna tip to standard hai sir, you have to give it." Otherwise, in many this hotels also, in many restaurants also, service charge is compulsorily given on your invoice. Oh, देना तो देना ही पड़ता है. What देना ही पड़ता है? It is not compulsory. If I like your service, I will give it. I'll tip you with that money. But don't add it to the invoice directly, right? You should send back that invoice and you should say, see, GST is okay, don't add service tax. I don't want to give you any service tax. I'm not happy with your services. So this is what Byju's did. So Byju's, forced the parents to take courses and to stick to those courses. This force was bad. Had it been a goodwill model, it would have survived. People would have shown interest. Second reason for Byju's downfall was that Byju focused on marketing and not on actual teaching. I'll give you an example. Examples are always good. Conventional wisdom tells us that a company should spend 5 to 8% of its revenue on marketing. Every company spends around 5 to 8% of their revenue on marketing. Bigger the company, bigger the marketing. And that's why you will see that iPhone is marketed much more as compared to maybe a small company, let us say Lava or that kind of a company, right? And marketing of iPhone is always more. Why? Because iPhone's revenue is also more. Both the companies might be spending only 5 to 8% of their revenue on marketing. Byju spent 60% of its revenue only on marketing. I will give the examples. It hired Shah Rukh Khan, Hrithik Roshan, Messi to advertise various products of Byju's company. There was one product in which they were teaching coding to students. School going students, they are teaching coding to those students. But it was nothing. It was just like, okay, beta, click here, click, oh, see, your program is done, it's ready. The kid did not know anything about the language, kid did not know anything about the programming principles, nothing. But you just created a few, such courses where you have to click, you have to write something, and it is done. That's it. And the kid is also happy, the parents are also happy. And such big brand ambassadors used to do all the advertisement. Oh, this course is really nice. Shah Rukh Khan is also there. Ritik Roshan also here. Big names. And see, I'll tell you one thing. Companies are never left wing or right wing. Companies take one person from left wing, one person from right wing. You know that Ritik Roshan, usually the right wingers will like Ritik Roshan, left wingers will like Shah Rukh Khan. They'll take both of them. This is how every company behaves. Companies never have any political ideology. They have no ideology at all. They normally work only for profit. Even Jio took Shah Rukh Khan as the brand ambassador. Is Shah Rukh Khan in favor of Modi ji, BJP? No. But still we think that Jio is very pro BJP, because this is how every company behaves. Now, had Jio been looked at as a leftist company, then it would take a brand ambassador from some right wing side. This is how everyone behaves. Now, Jio was looked at as a right winger company, so it took a brand ambassador from left side because it wanted to capture that class of people, the left class of people. This is how every company, even Mahindra, for example. Mahindra, Anand Mahindra, he speaks in favor of Congress when Congress is in power. He speaks in favor of BJP when BJP is in there in the power. He has no ideologies, and still many right wingers keep on, retweeting his tweets when he says that China ko maza chakayenge, or you also. I mean, I'm not quoting him directly, but whenever he says anything that okay, China has given us the challenge. China said, I think during the COVID period or during that standoff period, that you don't even have this kind of companies, and immediately Mr. Anand Mahindra tweeted that okay, challenge accepted, we will make such companies. So all the right wingers said, oh, such a nice person. And this same person used to speak in favor of Congress when Congress was in power. Every corporate is like this. I have taken the name of Adani, I have taken the name of Mahindra. You consider, apply the same rule to everybody. Apply the same rule even to Amul, even to Tata. Every company, apply the same rule. They are all just the same. They are working for the profits. Every corporate is just like that. Okay, so I probably digressed, but I just wanted to tell you that Shah Rukh Khan and Hrithik Roshan, coming from two different sides of the aisle, they worked for the same company. Then they sponsored FIFA World Cup in Qatar. 2020. Then they had their logo printed on the Indian cricket team's jersey. Wow. This is what all. This is where they spent all that money. 60% of their revenue was spent just on marketing. At one time, 80% of the revenue came from selling tablets, and only 20% came from actually selling the courses. So was it a tablet making company or a teaching educational company? This is how badly this company financed, or company, this company did not have a clear vision what they wanted to do. They just wanted to increase their profits anyhow, by any means possible, and that was responsible for its downfall. So the second reason is that this company was more focused on marketing and less focused on the actual core competency that this company should have had, and that is teaching. And the third and the final reason for the downfall of this company is they made education a product. They productized education, and this is a very sensitive thing for many people. See, many people even keep saying that the colleges, they also productize the education. The degrees are getting productized, and no one teaches in the college for the betterment of the children, so that the children would grow, so that the students would grow, so that the future generation of India would rise. No one has that aspiration in their mind at the moment. Everyone teaches only for money. In biggest institutes of India also, this is what is happening, and that is really a matter of shame. We are a country who say that we are Vishwa Guru, we are this and that, but look at our education sector. It has become a business, and it's really sad. And then there are some sincere students, some sincere teachers, some sincere institutes also. But overall, the whole education system of India is becoming corporatized, is becoming, you know, it's becoming an education market. And that's what is hurtful. It basically hurts somewhere. It's a sensitive topic because this is the industry which shapes the future of India. It shapes the new generation of India. And we have made it a market. We have not kept it as noble a profession it was once upon a time. So education was made into a product and they neglected personalization. Even today, when your kid would join a course, you would normally want the teacher to give personal attention to that student. Okay, but suppose there is Byju's, so there is just a subscription model. Many videos are given now. Student doesn't know the teacher, teacher doesn't know the student, student only sees those particular videos, and this is all the communication that you have. So there is no personal attention in this digital world. Okay, and that is why people are once again gravitating towards offline courses. Then accountability of the teachers. See, in Byju's model, video should be good. That's it. The liability of the teacher is only to create the video. Whether students understood that video, whether students, if students had some doubts, then whether those doubts were cleared or not, that is not the accountability of the teacher. Teacher's accountability is only that I'll create a video. If you have a doubt, ask me through a chat. I'll answer to the chat. I don't really care whether you understand it or not. I'll give a blanket answer to all the chats. Oh, you questioned about this. I have already copied the answer somewhere in the notepad. I'll just paste it off. Zero accountability of the teachers. Whereas in offline courses, this does not happen. If the student doesn't understand something, the student can wait after the class. They can ask the teacher. Teacher, once they might say, no, I don't have time, twice. But if the student keeps on waiting every day, then the student has to be answered somewhere or the other. Okay, so in offline classes, a lot of accountability of the teachers is also there. So these two things were missing in Byju's. Then during COVID lockdown, Byju's was the need of the hour. But after COVID, offline courses also reopened, schools also reopened, and they were the obvious choice of the students and the parents. Offline ones were the obvious choice because of the above two reasons. On the top of it, Byju's made the courses unnecessarily expensive. Why? Because they were spending so much on the, uh, on marketing, on Shah Rukh Khan, Hrithik Roshan, Messi, so many advertisements, so many billboards. That money has to come from somewhere, right? So their courses were extremely costly. Now they were way costlier as compared to the offline tuitions. People already wanted the offline tuitions more, and besides, even those who would think that no, digital is also good, even those people got discouraged by the expensive courses that Byju's was offering. Overall, this video was created using these all sources. Do let me know what you think about this topic. This topic is very close to my heart as also, so pardon me if I didn't mind my words in this particular video. I might have said a few extra things in the spur of the moment, in the heat of the moment, but it's because the topic is so sensitive. This was a dream of so many Indians, and this dream was shattered. What you think about it, do let me know in the comment section. And until next time, Jai Shri Ram. ये है अमित शिरासाव, अमित शिरासाव, अमित शिरासाव, अमित शिरासाव.